Hello and welcome to the Water Prairie Chronicles. I'm your host, Tonya, and I'm thrilled to have you join me for today's episode as we wrap up Season 2 and prepare for Season 3. Season 2 was a year of growth and learning for the podcast. I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude to you. Your unwavering support and engagement have made this journey a joy to be a part of. Now let's dive into some of the highlights from Season 2. It's been inspiring to see which episodes resonated most with you as viewers on YouTube and listeners on the audio platforms. On YouTube, there were 3 episodes that stole the spotlight. Episode 47, the topic on that one was analytic and gestalt language processing in children, and Lenora Edwards was our guest. She captivated many of you with her explanation of the 2 different types of language processing. And it's one of those things that I found myself referring to quite a bit as I meet people who are trying to understand how their children are learning. I learned a lot about the topic because I was only familiar with analytic language processing. If you've missed that one, go back and listen to episode 47. If you have a child who's speaking later or who is speaking in large phrases instead of just small words, you're going to want to hear that one because it'll help you understand a little bit more about what's happening and why that's a normal way of learning for them. Another standout episode was number 55. That was our conversation with Amit Chawla on parenting autistic children. And your interest in amplifying diverse voices and understanding different perspectives speaks volumes about the empathy and compassion within our community. Amit also shared information on how to plan for our special needs children's financial future. The third YouTube video that stood out was episode 58. That was when we embarked on a journey from the Hunger Games to children's books with the remarkable Sophia Sanchez. Who could forget that one? It was heartwarming to witness how literature and storytelling continue to shape young minds, and Sophia has gone on to do even more since we spoke with her last. I'm hoping we'll be able to get her back on again to talk about some of the new things. But one thing is, the Hunger Games movie, need I say more on that one, but also she is going to be promoting a new book soon. I don't think it's out yet. I need to check in and see, but there's another one coming out in the series. So I'd like to talk to her more about that one too. Now, looking at the audio platform, it wasn't the same episodes. I thought that was interesting. So the top episodes were equally compelling. Episode 47, once again, it shone brightly. So Lenora Edwards guided us through analytic and gestalt language processing in children in the audio. Just was the top one on both platforms. Following in a close second was episode 48, the next week, where Felicia Aquilo shared insights in giving our sons the gift of sound. And if you've missed that one, Felicia talked about her 2 boys who are deaf and hard of hearing and how they chose to teach the boys ASL and also give them cochlear implants so that they would have choices later in life. Felicia has actually gone on to have a 3rd child now, and you will want to check in to see what they're doing as a family. So lots of exciting things happening over there. And then our 3rd episode was episode 80 with Anouk Briere-Godbout's Wisdom on Parenting Emotionally Intense Kids. Anouk has something coming up that I'm going to be telling you more about this week as well, and it's a parenting summit. Well, actually a parenting retreat. It's not a summit, it's a retreat. And she has a great lineup of guest speakers, and I think it's only 3 days. So when you hear this, check in right away to get the information. I'll put as much as I can in the show notes for this for anyone that wants to go. It's totally free, but it's just for 3 days, so I want to make sure that you don't miss out on that. Those were our top ones there. Now I want to share some exciting news to you. I am thrilled to announce, if you didn't read the newsletter yet, this is a little sidebar here. If you didn't read the newsletter, sign up for the newsletter so that you're the first to hear about things. But for those who haven't, I want to announce that we've opened an Etsy shop for Water Prairie. It's a work in progress. Be sure to check in from time to time to see what new offerings you find. In the shop, you're going to discover storytelling journals that will ignite your imagination. They're actually designed for your kids. A storytelling journal, as far as what I've put together and what I'm calling it, it's a journal that has a collection of story starters. So when you're going to write a story, sometimes it's hard to come up with an idea. And if we want to help our kids practice writing and to really learn how to love writing, it helps sometimes if we can get them past that beginning part. The storytelling journals are theme-based. Like one is pirates. Every story in there has something to do with pirating. So it would start with the beginning of a story, and then it kind of leaves you hanging. So then you take it and you write the rest of the story. And what I've done is I have the story starters, but I also have some puzzles that are theme related too. that are another way to kind of play with words and to mess with rhyming. And there's some drawing in there too. So I'm hoping that it's something that the kids will enjoy, that will make it a fun way for writing to happen. And they're going to be offered in both a digital download as well as in an 8.5 by 11 spiral bound journal. So of course at different price points, because the journals cost quite a bit for me to make. But anyway, so those are there. And then there's also, we have the first out right now, more to follow, but I'm calling them Tales on a Tote. And these are story kits. They come in a drawstring bag, and they're story kits that go along with popular children's books. And the first one that's out is the Goodnight Moon storybook. And with that one, you can buy the book or you can buy the story kit without the book. But in the bag, you have objects that a child can hold and play with while they're listening to the story. So this brings the illustrations of a story to a child who is visually impaired. They can hold it and touch it and feel it, and know that whenever you're talking about the red balloon, they're holding a little mylar red balloon. When they're talking about the 3 bears sitting in chairs, they're holding a little stuffed bear. So they can get the feel of what it is. But not only for visually impaired children, but also for our children who are sensory kids, to be able to feel this and to just incorporate that into the story is just a great way to bring that story to them and make it more real. If you have a child who can't sit still, they can carry it around the room with them. They don't have to sit and look at the illustration. They can hold it. So I've put these together. I have a couple more books coming out. I think the next one's going to be the 5 Little Monkeys Jumping on the Bed story. And then behind that will be Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. So I'm open to other story ideas that you may have. Send them to me. I will see what else we can add. But that's how we're getting started with that. And the whole idea behind the Etsy shop is to help support the Water Prairie Chronicles, because it does cost every month for us to run this, and it does not pay for itself. So I'm trying to think of some creative ways to fund the podcast. So another thing I wanted to share with you is that over the past months, I've had the honor of being featured on several podcast and educational summits where I shared the message of inclusion for our children with special needs. And there will be more opportunities to connect and share insights in season 3. So I'll keep you updated on that in the newsletter. Did I mention before that if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, you should do that? That's going to be your best way to know where those things are. And some of these are free summits that you can join in and hear the other speakers. So take advantage of those if you can. It's the ones that I've been part of have had phenomenal lineups of speakers. So sign up for our newsletter to receive updates. I'm also going to be putting in some discount promo codes for the Etsy shop. Did I mention sign up for the newsletter yet? I just want to make sure that I got it in there enough times. The other way that you can help with the podcast is to leave a review and subscribe to the Water Prairie Chronicles on Apple Podcast and YouTube. And I believe Spotify may allow you to do reviews now. I'm not sure. But any platform that we're on, if you can leave a review, leave a comment on the videos, like them, subscribe them, whatever you can do, the more numbers that we have in there, the more those platforms will recommend those to other people that are searching for similar information. So it's just a easy way to try to help build the platform to get them out there. So your support on those help us just to grow. And the whole idea is, can we get this out to more families who need to have that support, have that encouragement that they're getting through the interviews when we have the guests coming on. And in season 3, we're going to be doing some things differently. So next week, make sure that you listen in. I'm going to tell you a little bit more of what I'm working on for season 3. I have some big plans coming up, and I'm excited about it. I'm going to need your help a little bit to pull it together, but I will tell you more about that next week. So until next time, keep spreading kindness and inclusion, and I'll see you in season 3.